I try to tear down, you only wear down my resolve. I try to lay down, but you always play down all my faults. Grace upon grace you've shown me, Jesus. Grace upon grace, oh how I need it. Grace upon grace, you don't owe me a thing, but I'll take it. I try to stop fighting, then you breathe your life back into me. When I feel like hiding, you shine your light back onto me. Grace upon grace you've shown me, Jesus. Grace upon grace, oh how I need it. Grace upon grace, you don't owe me a thing, but I'll take it. Grace upon grace, you love me, Jesus. Show me your face, I want to see it. Grace upon grace, you lift up to the name of King. Your mercies outshine every shame. Oh Jesus, call me by your name. I am chosen, I am loved, I am free to rise above every sin and every shame. Through grace upon grace, I have been saved. Grace upon grace you've shown me, Jesus. There is no place your grace can't free us. Grace upon grace, you don't owe me a thing, but I'll take it.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Songs and Stories. We have the wonderful Renee Boutelle joining us today on Songs and Stories, and we're going to start off by just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for a living, where you were born and raised.
So Renee Boutelle, and what I do for a living is pretty interesting. I am a property manager of healthcare real estate, so nothing to do with music, but I do enjoy leading our music program and the choir at my home church. Shout out to St. Martin's Lutheran in Sugar Land, Texas. I am Houston born and raised, and I currently reside in Missouri City, which is a suburb of Houston. So
how long have you been playing music, and also how long have you been writing music?
Great question. I started playing the piano as a young child, probably first, second grade. Discovered a love for singing in middle school. I joined the adult choir at my church after my parents realized that I could sing. They kind of coaxed me into joining the church choir, and so that's where I really got my my singing start. Really cultivated that throughout high school, and then that's when I started writing music. Was in high school, very casually, a lot of pop rock kind of stuff. But
heartbreak songs.
Yeah, of course. But it was a good outlet for me, and creatively and emotionally. But I stopped doing it in college, in my college years, but picked it back up after coming back to Houston after graduating from TLU, and just kind of ran with it. I was working at the church as a part-time job and started writing liturgy music, and so that just kind of brought back that love of songwriting for me.
Liturgy music.
Yeah.
So writing
like Kyrie.
Okay, just different settings
holy,
to
holy,
it.
holy,
Okay.
Lamb of God. Yeah, just Yeah, I have a whole liturgy out. So
That's awesome.
that we've played a few years in a row now during the Easter season at church. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people that are in music now that started in their church choir or youth group, or it's just a common theme I hear a lot.
Yeah.
So don't sleep on the church choirs.
Never. Yeah. We'll take you if you're in the Sugar Land area and need to get that singing out.
So when you were working and starting to play music, was there any artists in particular that you liked listening to that has influenced your writing, or is it something that was kind of born out of a bunch of different places?
Yeah, I'm really influenced by a lot of different genres of music, honestly. I grew up listening to country. 99.1 used to be like this oldie station in Houston, and so like doo-wop and that kind of music, soul. So, and then growing up, lots of 90s rock and all of that. 80s, I love the 80s. So just lots of different genres that I kind of pull from. Really, when I'm writing a song, the feel of it really kind of is dictated by the lyrics and, the emotion that I'm trying to show through the song itself. So,
yeah, so let's talk about this song that we just heard you sing, Grace Upon Grace. Such a beautiful song. To me, there's nothing better than grace for us as Christians.
Yeah.
Behind every song, there not necessarily is a story, but most of the time there is. And so I have a feeling there is a great story behind this one. So what inspired this song?
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest, it's not the happiest story, but it turned out for the better. And ultimately the song came out of it in a stronger, more trusting and open, honest relationship with my husband, actually. So, not every marriage is perfect. In fact, I don't know the one that is. We strive for that, right? But I do know that God gave me the perfect partner when he gave me Michael. And it was made very clear to me after a situation that happened earlier this year where I messed up and I really needed that grace. And if the tables were turned, I don't know that I would have been so quickly to give it as he was to give it to me. And so it really just blew my mind, honestly, and something I'm so thankful for in him. And ultimately, I know that came, through God and God's grace through Michael. So, I sat with that, knowing, how I felt about the whole situation and feeling just overwhelmed with gratitude for the grace that was given to me in that moment. And, just really thinking on that and thinking on just grace in general and how it's freely given to all of us. And it's undeserved and unwarranted, but it's there for us. And we just, have to have the faith to open ourselves up to it and take it. And so that's really where the song came from. And so I think it was like, a day or two after this thing happened, and I sat down at the piano and I wrote and I wrote, and it was done in less than an hour. And he came home from work and I said, "Hey, sit down, let me show you this song." And it was a really special moment for both of us and for us as a married couple, and we were made better for it. So yeah.
Yeah, grace, especially in a marriage, it can be. I've found that sometimes it can be hard to have grace for yourself.
Oh yeah.
And it definitely helps when you get that grace from your partner. It's crazy to think about that we actually do the opposite to earn it.
Yeah.
But it is freely given to us. And
oh yeah.
it's beautiful when you see that grace played out, the grace of God played out in your life.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Is there a particular line in the song that you love?
Yeah.
Love your favorite line?
Yeah. So probably at the end of the chorus when I say,
Grace upon grace, you don't owe me a thing, but I'll take it.
that really is kind of, what grace is all about. It's not owed to us. We didn't do anything to deserve it. We can't do anything to earn it. And, but it's there for us. And so I think that for me was one of my favorite lines for sure. And then some of the others, I try to stop fighting.
I try to stop fighting, then you breathe your life back into me.
there are times when I just like really mess up and I kind of want to like lay down and give up and have a pity party and, say, woe is me. But when I sit with it and I remember, hey, like things happen. And one of my prior pastors had a saying, he would say, there's grace for that. And that's always something I try to go back to, like, there's grace for that. We're not perfect, but God is, and his grace is perfect. Something I really wanted to try to remind people of it with the song.
Yeah, that's really important. And like I said earlier, having grace for yourself. And when you mess up in your own head, it just seems like it's unredeemable. But it's such a great reminder that nothing is unredeemable to God. Between humans, there's definitely a fine line of this is where the grace ends.
Right.
But with God, it doesn't end.
No. Yeah. Yeah. The line, your mercies outshine every shame.
Your mercies outshine every shame.
There's nothing we can do that can separate us from God's love, and that mercy is there for a reason, because we need it. we definitely need it.
So this song, Grace Upon Grace, earlier you said you used to work on liturgy music. Is this a song that you see people being able to sing congregationally in a church, or is this something that is a private song for you?
Maybe not congregational singing, but definitely something that can be shared with a larger audience, shared as a piece of worship to elevate, the message of grace to a congregation, maybe as an anthem or something like that. But probably not congregational singing, although I'd love to try it at my own church and let you know how it goes.
Are you currently working on anything right now that you are excited about?
I do have some more contemporary worship songs that I am working on, trying to finish up. I am planning on recording a second album. I finished one, early last year, and put that out for everybody to hear and listen to and
my
enjoy.
wife listens to it.
Oh, yeah. Great!
Because she came to an event that you sang at St. Mark's in downtown, and she was like, "Oh, I want to look her up."
That's awesome.
So, she's got you on her playlist.
I love that. Yeah, so just working on getting those finished up so I can get back to recording.
And then where can we find your music?
So right now that album, In the Quiet, is on Spotify, Amazon Prime Music, I believe YouTube, and it's pretty available. It's out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and performing that beautiful song, Grace Upon Grace.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
And thank you guys for joining us today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel or liked it, please do so you can stay up to date on things that we release, and we'll see you next time.